Especially when the weather begins to heat up, there's nothing quite as refreshing as jumping into the ocean. But for most people, the idea of floating in water can soon become quite boring. Luckily, there's a whole new range of different vehicles and devices that can take things to the next level. So with that in mind, it's time to take a look at the 15 craziest water toys, some of which you won't believe exist. Number 15. The JetLev Flyer. Have you ever dreamed of having your own jetpack and the freedom to soar through the sky? Well, first made available in 2009, the JetLev Flyer has become one of the must-have water toys for those looking for an exhilarating experience that allows you to do just that. By repurposing technology developed for jet skis, the device is made up of a backpack that contains the majority of the machinery, with a tube that's constantly submerged in the water. The Flyer sucks water in through this and expels it through two nozzles of the device, and generates enough propulsion to allow the user to perform a number of different maneuvers. The JetLev Flyer allows you to hover up to 30 feet above the water surface and functions underwater too, meaning you can dive deep down into the water and then launch out into the sky. It became the first jetpack on the market that was safe to use by amateur flyers, and even though it had an original price of $100,000, water sports venues around the world were clamoring to be some of the first to offer the use of one to guests. In the following years, the price has reduced and the capabilities of the JetLev Flyer have considerably improved, making this undoubtedly the biggest water toy revolution in the past decade. Number 14. Bumper boats. One of the best attractions at a fun fair has to be the bumper cars, where you can drive around crashing into one another. But to take things to the next level, you can do the same thing on water, but with boats instead. Bumper boats were first invented in the 1970s and are essentially an inner tube that's powered by a gas or electric engine and allows riders to steer themselves over the water in search of their next victim to crash into. Often found at amusement parks and water parks, they can also be fitted with water guns to take the action up a level, and can be the most fun you'll ever had in a rubber ring. The act of essentially putting bumper cars on water did of course add a few safety concerns for riders, particularly with the risk of capsizing, but the manufacturers who still make them today have now incorporated loads of modern technology to ensure they're as fun and as safe as possible. Number 13. Sea Breacher. According to the company that developed them, a sea breacher is the next revolution in watercraft that allows riders to carve through the water like never before. With 3 styles on offer, the Shark Style X, the Killer Whale Y, and the Dolphin Z. Rather than solely being designed to move across the surface of the water, these amazing machines allow you to dive through it as well. Described as a cross between a marine animal and a high-performance fighter jet, sea breachers feature an acrylic canopy that can be fully closed around the rider, and with 3 axes of control for pitch, roll, and yaw, the vessel can steer left and right, leap into the air to jump over obstacles, or thrust itself beneath the surface to go under them. It's steered by 2 hand sticks that operate the front wings on either side, and these give control over the direction and angle that the craft moves, while 2 pedals are used to determine how much thrust is produced by the jet nozzles, and can also change the direction they pump water to give further directional control. For safety reasons and to ensure the engine always has an air supply to function, the Sea Breacher has a snorkel that reaches to the surface and limits the depth at which the craft can go. But with a little practice, you can hold it at a depth of around 6 feet for a few seconds before launching it up into the air above the surface and crashing back down at breakneck speed. Number 12. JetSurf Titanium DFI 2021. Have you ever wanted to get into surfing, but struggled with the idea of using the waves to give forward momentum, or simply wanted to use a board to explore areas with calmer waters? Well, a device like the JetSurf Titanium could be exactly what you're looking for. It's essentially a surfboard, but with a jet pump direct drive propulsion system that's powered by a 2-stroke engine. Designed for speed and stability, it has an incredible top speed of up to 40 miles an hour on flat water, something that can become a lot faster if you use it in conjunction with the more traditional wave power. These aren't just aimed at hobbyist surfers either, because it gives experienced riders a whole new approach to the sport. Offering new ways to perform tricks, stunts. There are already annual MotoSurf championships that begin in 2012, and the sport keeps going from strength to strength. It's not all about high-octane speed, though, because motorized surfboards are also perfect for cruising at a leisurely pace across lakes and rivers and give you a chance to access places that would have previously been difficult to get in with a motorized craft. Number 11. Blob Water Launcher. They're possibly the most fun you can have at a beach party or spring break, and since the introduction of the first blob water launcher, companies have been coming up with increasingly crazy designs. The basic concept is simple. It's a huge inflatable toy that's not fully filled with air and designed so that someone can sit or lie at the very end. Someone else then jumps onto the other end, and this forces air through the blob and launches the other person high into the air before they splash down into the water. Of course, with every toy like this, designs have continued to become bigger and better, and stunt teams often try to set insane world records with them. It's quite possible to launch someone 50 feet into the air with one, especially if the jumper is using a bridge or even a helicopter as the jump platform. And it seems the only limit is where your imagination can take you. While this may seem reckless, very few injuries have ever taken place because of a water launcher. And this is because they're specifically designed to launch the person forwards, so if they're positioned in a large enough region of water in the first place, you're always going to land in it. If you had one of these and could do anything with it, what would be your ideal setup? Number 10. Flightboard Air. If you've ever seen a high-speed racing yacht, you'll be familiar with the techniques that they use to lift up out of the water on seemingly impossibly thin struts to reduce the friction caused by the hull's contact with the surface. While this used to be only possible with huge investment and only on the most advanced boats, the technology has now been adapted for use on a much smaller scale. It has led to the development of amazing toys like the Flightboard Air. At first, when it's in the water, it just looks like a surfboard, but there are some major differences. With an onboard motor that's powered by a lithium-ion battery pack, the propeller at the bottom of the winged hydrofoil that's hidden beneath the water can soon pick up some serious speed. Once you're moving fast enough, the board will rise up into the air, and it's just the lower segment that's in contact with the water. And despite looking complicated to operate, the designers claim that it'll only take an hour or so for a complete novice to learn how to use. Amazingly, when used properly, the Flightboard Air can reach speeds of up to 34 miles an hour for up to 2 hours before needing a recharge. But this is plenty of time to zoom around a lake and show off your skills to everyone else who will be almost guaranteed to be watching. Number 9. Flying Kite Tube. Possibly the most dangerous water toy ever developed and sold to consumers was the Flying Kite Tube, which became all the rage when they were first released in 2005. Similar to other tubes, they're attached to the back of a speedboat and towed through the water, but the difference is they were designed in such a way that they had wings that generate lift and launch them into the air. In just the right conditions, it was possible to catch a gust of wind underneath the tube and achieve extreme heights and get airtime of several minutes or more. They could be towed at speeds of up to 20 or 30 miles an hour and would launch up to 30 feet high into the air. But when this happened, you were almost guaranteed a bumpy landing when you came back down to the water. They were incredibly fun, but with their ability to go so high and at such speeds, there were obviously safety concerns involved. Manufacturers recommended wearing helmets, for example, just in case a rider fell from the tube and then splashed into the water. But still, numerous reports were made of significant injuries that riders experienced. People would lose consciousness when they hit the water. There were broken vertebrae, ruptured eardrums, and perforated lungs. And by the following year from their release, 3 people had died in accidents. Because of this, flying kite tubes were banned and remain restricted, meaning this is one crazy toy that if you didn't have the chance to ride when they were legal, you'd probably never have the opportunity again. We are constantly adding more people to the Top 5's production team to bring you all the best content. Be sure to subscribe with notifications on and hit the like button. Number 8. Jet Ski. First developed and released by Kawasaki in 1972, jet skis are the most popular and regularly seen personal watercraft at water sports venues around the world. Designed as a recreational vessel, these are various different designs that either incorporate the use of a propeller and impeller or are jet-powered and may be ridden by either standing up or sitting down. The stand-up styles are targeted at more extreme sports enthusiasts and are easier to perform stunts and tricks with, while the seated versions are targeted at casual riders who want to experience the sensation of shooting across the water's surface. To be classed as a personal watercraft, they have to be less than 13 feet in length, but the technology has improved and their capabilities have equally increased. Many models, for example, can hold enough fuel to give a range of 100 miles or more and can easily reach speeds of up to 70 miles an hour. And some are designed to seat up to 4 passengers for cruising, or are much smaller for one rider to be more nimble, and there's a model of jet ski that's suited to virtually anyone. Despite jet skis being such an established type of water toy, they still pose a serious danger if they aren't used responsibly, especially because of the speed they can reach, and when the riders aren't aware of people swimming nearby. When operated safely, though, they're still arguably the most fun you can have on water. Number 7. Hovercraft. Hovercraft have historically been large vessels able to carry people and vehicles in a similar way to a ferry, but for a surprisingly reasonable price of around $25,000, you can get a personal-sized one that's ideal for racing across your local lake. The Marlin XL, for example, is a recently released model, and it's incredibly fun. At just over 13 feet long, there's room on board for up to 3 people, and it can reach a top speed of up to 45 miles an hour on land or water. To show just how reliable and resilient it is, the Marlin XL is the only modern-style personal hovercraft that's been used across the English Channel and back again. But it's not just about the long-distance transport. Powered by a fuel-efficient 4-stroke engine that's connected to the lightweight fan, the hovercraft's skirt is made up of individual segments that mean it can seal more effectively. And if a problem happens to one, the rest will retain their integrity. From exploring your local waterways to taking part in high-speed races, personal hovercrafts can do it all, and are some of the craziest and most exhilarating water toys available. Number 6. Quad Ski. If you've always wanted a watercraft but don't have a beachfront property or a private yacht you can keep it on, then perhaps the best choice would be an amphibious vehicle like the Quad Ski. Developed by New Zealand-based Gibbs Sports, it doubles as a quad bike, a jet ski, and even a ski-doo. Fitted with a 4-cylinder engine, on land the rear-wheel drive Quad Ski has a top speed of 45 miles an hour and has a custom suspension to ensure it's as comfortable a ride as possible. Once you've driven into shallow water, however, the wheels and suspension can fold up, and the engine then powers the jet drive, which also offers a top speed of 45 miles per hour across the water's surface. If needed, various custom options were available, which included addition of skis so you could shred across snow with ease as well. Often with vehicles like this, you'd expect sacrifices to be made in regards to maneuverability, either on land, water, or snow, but the company has designed the hull so that it's a dream to ride on any surface. The initial models, which were on sale between 2013 and 2016, were all sold, and the company has returned to the drawing board to produce their next range of vehicles based on what they learned with the Quad Ski. Meaning, it's very likely that an even more powerful and crazy version will probably be launched soon. Number 5. Red Shark Board. Cycling is one of the most popular pastimes around the world, but with traditional bicycle design, it's not possible to travel across water. Recently, though, design companies have been creating pedal-powered watercraft that offers the cardio workout of cycling, but the ability to access completely new places. One of the leading models is the Red Shark Board, and it looks like a surfboard with a cycle frame fixed on top of it. Designed to feel like riding a bike, the board part is actually inflatable, but made of rigid plastic material, which ensures that it will always reliably float. The pedals power a propeller that's beneath the board, and the handlebars are used to steer it. Although you may find it slower to react than when you're on a road bike. Depending on how serious you want to take things, there are lightweight versions made from carbon fiber, or cheaper and more stable versions that are targeted more towards leisure users. At a cost of a couple of $1,000, they're actually cheaper than many road bikes on offer, and are surprisingly portable. The frame detaches and the deck can be folded up into a carry bag, meaning you can drive to virtually any expanse of water and use a Red Shark Board to explore to your heart's content. Number 4. Seabob. If you've ever been lucky enough to stay on a private yacht or regularly go to water sports centers, the chances are you'll be familiar with a Seabob. They are personal-sized jet-powered water scooters that allow users to travel through the ocean and go virtually anywhere they want. As they're fully electrically powered with onboard lithium-ion batteries, it takes just 90 minutes to fully charge, and this will give you up to a 70-minute ride time. With onboard instruments to tell you your speed and power levels, the vehicles are controlled by an ergonomic control grip, And because they're designed in such a hydrodynamic way, they're really easy to direct where you want to go. Seabobs can be used to take you across the water's surface, but as you get more confident with it, you can also use them to take you underwater to depths of up to 130 feet. Of course, this is far too deep to go without breathing equipment, but Seabobs have been designed for use with scuba gear in mind and allow divers to cover much greater distances than is otherwise possible. Able to reach speeds of up to 14 miles per hour, Seabobs are also available with a wide range of extras, which can even include an onboard camera and monitor to film everything that you see. Number 3. Sea Researcher 3100 Personal Submarine. With a large number of surface watercraft available to choose from, there's one type of vehicle that has for a long time been out of reach for consumer use. But because of improving technologies, it's now easier than ever to get your hands on your own personal submarine. U-Boat Works, a company from the Netherlands, is one of the world leaders in designing vehicles like this, and one of their latest creations, the Sea Researcher 3100, is one of the best available. Aimed for personal exploration or even for professional research, it's powered by a specially designed lithium-ion battery that's resistant to the pressures it's exerted to. The 4 thrusters on the back of the vessel allow for pinpoint control of its movements, and there's room inside for up to 4 people within the acrylic bubble dome that offers a fantastic view of the underwater world. Weighing around 9 tons, you need a platform and a crane to place it in the water and to remove it after use. But once you're going, you'll be able to reach a top underwater speed of 3 knots and be able to reach a depth of 3,600 feet, and have enough oxygen to keep going for up to 18 hours. Various extras are available too, and depending on how you want to use it, including a stronger thruster, powerful lights, cameras, and manipulator arms, meaning this thing can be turned into the submersible of your dreams. Number 2. Royal Version 001. Personal motorboats come in all shapes and sizes, with countless adaptations available. But if you truly want to cruise across the waves in the epitome of luxury, then there's only one option, the Royal Version 001. Designed by a company called Jet Capsule, the $285,000 craft is 26 feet long, 12 feet wide, and 7.5 feet high, which gives a total interior cabin space of 193 square feet, with a separate cockpit at the front too. It's powered by a 740 brake horsepower engine that gives it a cruising speed of up to 62 knots. Both the cockpit hatch and the main cabin door are motorized, and to keep it as lightweight as possible, the whole boat is made from carbon fiber. Designed for day cruising, the cabin is fitted with 9 plush leather recliner seats and also features a bathroom and a wet bar. It's also fully air-conditioned too, meaning that no matter where you're traveling, you'll always arrive refreshed and relaxed. If the basic specs aren't enough, there are plenty of customization options available too, which even include an armored version complete with bulletproof glass and a rooftop bunker, just in case you need an extra level of security. The windows are photochromic, which means they automatically change their transparency levels depending on how intense the sunlight is, and there's a platform on the back that provides a perfect entry into the water for snorkeling, diving, or fishing. Number 1. Super Marinovation X2 Sport. We've all, at some point, wished that we've had powers like a superhero, but the Super Marinovation X2 Sport brings us closer to being able to realize the dreams of becoming Iron Man than ever before. Developed by SCP Marine Innovation, which is based in Portsmouth in the UK, it's a device that's designed to allow users to glide through the water with precise steering and very little effort. What's different from this in comparison to sea scooters is that all the components are wearable, from the backpack that contains the integrated control system and battery units to the hydro thrusters that are attached to the wrists. When the system's engaged, all you need to do is point your arms in the direction you want to go, and it will take you there at a speed of up to 6 miles per hour when you're underwater. Depending on the options you choose, the X2 Sport can be fitted with super long life batteries to keep you moving for hours between each charge, and the device has been purposefully designed in a way that it can be worn alongside scuba gear, so you can glide along underwater for as long as you want. Initially, when they were made available, there was a choice of 5 different colors, and perhaps the most surprising thing was the price. While you might expect a product like this to be unaffordable for most people, the base version was put on sale for around $2,500. Watch our Vehicles playlist for more top 15 videos about amazing vehicles. Sit back, relax, and binge watch all of our best vehicle videos.